Hello everyone, welcome to the Boleyn Lounge. Sorry for the late start. As you can see, mixed with me this evening, but had a few technical problems with his sound, but we've sorted that out now. So thanks to all of you for joining us on the Tuesday talk show. And I don't want to deceive you too much with my thumbnail about the managers. It was all a bit tongue-in-cheek, a bit of a joke really. Oh, hang on, Newcastle should have scored there. Wow. But we'll talk briefly about QPR, and then we'll talk about some of the speculations. So, Mick, thanks for joining me, mate. It's been a long time no see. How have you been keeping? All right, mate?
Yeah, good. Thank you very much. Yeah, nice to be back on the show. Hello, everyone in the chat.
It's good to have you. And did you watch the QPR game, mate? What did you think of it?
Only highlights, Jeff, unfortunately, of that one. I can't overly comment on it because I didn't see enough of it. It was on TNT5 or something, the only channel I don't picking up.
Well, to be honest with you, I mean, I'd be interested to see what the guys in the chat think, but I think you missed an awful lot, really. At one point, about half hour in, just before Somerville had his shot, I was looking around at people standing around me saying, I'm not sure if it's possible, but we seem a little bit more shit than usual. I was hugely unimpressed, I have to say. We got over the line and we're in the hat for the next round. So at the end of the day, that's what matters in the FA Cup. There's a few positives. Myers had a good game, I thought. Tatty played well. And Somerville looked really sharp in that game. I thought Walker Peters was a little bit unlucky to have lost his place. And 100%. AWB was decidedly average for me in that game. Looked like he'd just got off a plane. Probably could have done with a rest for the week, really. But we're through, and we've got Burton Albion in the next round of the Cup, which is pretty good draw for us, I'd suggest. You know, we could have come out of that an awful lot worse. So I'll take it, and hopefully we could get through to the next round. And if the draw's kind to us, who knows? I've heard it said on a couple of other channels we could do a Wigan. Sorry, what was that, mate?
Yeah. I said, so long as we don't have a Macclesfield result, we'll be all right.
Yeah, I mean, I actually thought they were really good against Palace. I thought they earned it. They outfought them. They wanted it more. Palace weren't that good on the day, but I don't think you could take anything away from Macclesfield. They were right up for it, and they deserved it. And they scored two pretty good goals in the end.
That's what I'm saying. I hope that isn't a reverse come up at Burton. You know, it is a worry at the moment, isn't it?
It is a bit of a worry. Let's go to the live chat, say hello to everyone. Words is in. Good evening, Words. He says, take the red pill and the stream will start. Yeah, sorry, we were a little bit late. And Brendan's in. He says, good evening. And will Coco be joining? She's just had her dinner, Brendan. But I'd like to say thanks to you and Words for really getting involved and embracing the walk and talk videos that I've been doing. So I might do another one towards the end of the week to do a preview on the Spurs game. But I think the weather's pretty foul, so we'll see. The sound might not be great, but I will try. And anyone else in the chat, if you've been watching those, please do get involved in the comment section. It'd be nice to see a bit more interaction in there. And Word says, yeah, he votes for Coco too. So she's more popular than me and you, Mick. Mate, West Ham Great Again's in. He says, good evening. Thanks
It'd
for
be hard to be
joining
more
us,
popular
mate.
than me, Jeff.
And and Paqueta out. Yeah, I guess we'll come on and talk about the Paqueta situation, along with all the manager rumours. I guess you're talking about us. Word saying we'll be here soon. No cancellation message. And he's waiting for Amarim and Harry to join. Yeah, a la thumbnail. Right, well, let's talk a bit about that because, like I say, I did put it in a little bit tongue in cheek, but it's, the one more match rumours I don't think is very helpful. I don't know what your thoughts are on Nuno and how he's doing, Mick. In fact, I'd be interested to know what your thoughts are on him. But I think all this stuff coming out from upstairs about he's got one more game and he's lost the dressing room and one thing or another is not really very helpful. To be honest, in the Wolves game, he looked like he probably had lost the dressing room in truth. Um, but then the next match against Forest, I don't think you could say that. And the team looked like they were playing for him. Probably a little bit unlucky not to get a result out of that game. And then more and more rumours that if he doesn't beat QPR, he's going to be out. And well, he stumbled over the line there, but for extra time, it's a draw, isn't it?
Right, so
It's good to see you, buddy.
I had a feeling this might come up.
Yeah.
And for those listening, me and Jeff haven't spoke for some
Colin.
time, to be fair, due to
No, we
holidays
haven't.
and what
Yeah.
one thing and nothing. Right. So I'll give you some figures here. Wolves 10, Burnley 5, West Ham 5, Forest 10, Leeds 7. That's the bottom 5, yeah? That's the amount of managers that these clubs have had in the last 7 years. In total, that's 37 managers between them. Yeah. So that tells you its own story that the bottom 5 have had 37 managers in the last 7 years. Yeah. Now, for me, Nuno, if you sack him, it's back to the same old thing, isn't it? Everyone was on here going, oh, we should get Thomas Franks and blah, blah, blah. Well, he's struggling. Yeah. They've just sacked the Real Madrid manager. Right. So in football as a whole, this seems to be the thing. Yeah. The teams that are stable are the teams that take a manager on, take on board what he wants. Yeah. Now, interestingly enough, if they're sacking Nuno, they're going to spend, they've already spent 50 million, and they're probably going to spend maybe another 50 million before the end of January. That doesn't sound like a club that's sacking its manager any day soon.
I
Yeah.
agree
And
with that.
in fairness to him, right, he's gone into a bag of shit. Yeah. Now, he tried some things in the early game, played very well against Everton, and then he went on this mad scheme of putting Scholesy at left back and all that sort of thing. But he won't keep us up because we're not good enough. But I do think, given time, when I say time, next season, that he'll put a side good enough to take us back up again, and then hopefully, then we can stay in the Premier League for a long time. But there are no managers out there, not one single manager out there that can go into West Ham today, sort it out and keep us up, or sort it out and get us back up any more than he can. He's an experienced manager. Yes, there's all sorts of rubbish going around. He doesn't talk to players that he doesn't want on his team. Well, you can go back to the greats like Brian Clough and people like that. You know, people back. I've read loads of stories back in the day about different managers. Don't want you. They don't want you. They tell you to go. It's honesty, if nothing else. With Ward-Prowse, it's honesty. The only reason Ward-Prowse hasn't left is fucking no one wants him. So that's his own story already. Yeah. And even the boys that were brought in, what's the midfielder? I've even forgot his name now. The Spanish boy, yeah, they're not queuing up to get him, are they? You know what I mean?
The Argentinian,
so
Rodriguez.
Whoever goes in there's got a bag of shit. Rodriguez, yeah, Rodriguez. Sorry, He came from Spain. Yeah. So, like for me, so you've got to stick.
You're frozen up there, Mick.
He was good enough to come in. What, 3 months ago was it? Yeah, do a job, and that's how. Not talk about fans because every fan has got a different opinion. But the board said names onto the chat, this, that, and the other, Alonso and all that sort of stuff. Be realistically, who would come into West Ham, even if we had to pay Amazon about paying 9 million for Thomas Franks? Not that I don't think he's a good manager. I think he's a great manager. And I'm sure, given a couple of seasons at Tottenham will be an extremely good side. But it takes time. And that's the thing. He has to be given time. Oh, we cannot keep changing managers. We had a record probably 20 years ago. We had something, it's absolutely crackers. So for me, yeah, Nuno's doing what he can. I think he's intelligent enough to know football wise what needs doing. And as I said, the board are backing him. So I cannot see the second, to be quite honest. And do I want him sacked? No, I don't.
I tend to agree with you with the board backing him the way they are, and seemingly the way they are, that it seems unlikely that it's a manager.
Still there, Jeff?
Yeah. It's unlikely that it's a manager they're about to get rid of. I do agree with that. I am starting to find his football a little bit tedious, though, no more so than against QPR. But as Word says here, we made a victory seem like a defeat, but it was a win, and bring on Burton. And that's the truth of it. We got over the line, and that's all you need to do. But we've got Spurs next, and I don't see, as dreadful as they are at home, if we play in a similar fashion that we did the weekend, I don't see us getting a result against them. And we desperately need to pick up points. I think I'm in agreement with you. I think the likelihood that we can stay up is getting slimmer and slimmer as every week goes by. But we can still do it. And if we were to win against Tottenham, Forest have got a tough fixture this week. Suddenly we start to reel them back in. And the only hope I've got really is Forest with their European commitments and that if their league form it stays as poor as it is, despite them beating us, they could still get dragged back into it. But that is the only hope that we've got. That Forest stumble because of their European campaign. I'm Disciples in. Thanks for joining us, buddy. He says, good evening, and give a pat on the head for Coco for him. Thanks, buddy. Make West Ham great again says, Nuno has been a huge disappointment. However, managers are only as good as their backroom staff, of which he only has one from Forest. That is another thing. He doesn't have his preferred backroom staff who he's had around him previously, and we have decided to promote our under-23s coaches. I guess
Jeff, I'm going to keep losing.
Yeah, I think your internet's in and out, mate, because you were breaking up a little bit while you were speaking. So, thanks for joining me, mate, and hopefully we'll.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can move somewhere else.
Yeah, no problem. Pop out, and if you come back in the studio, I'll bring you back in.
Yeah, I can hear.
Yeah, no problem, mate.
No, don't pop me out. I'm just moving.
Yeah, no problem. I won't kick you out. No problem. Make West Ham great again, says Kieran McKenna in the summer for him. If he brings Ipswich up...
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, mate, yeah. If Kieran McKenna brings Ipswich up, does he leave Ipswich for West Ham? I don't know if he does. He was pretty loyal to Ipswich previously. Usual's in. Nice for you to join us, Usual. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're keeping well. Iron Disciple says they're not sacking him. I just can't get behind this defensive lack of urgency football, ex-goalkeeper football. When we play attacking, we do far better. Um, yeah, I'm kind of on board with that. I find his football a bit tedious at the moment, and I was watching us against QPR playing it along our back line between Mavropanos, Tadipo, and Kilman, who I thought was dreadful actually against QPR. By the way, and it's going nowhere, and we can't score goals like that. I mean, we need to get the ball forwards. Somerville, though, was a bright spark for us at the weekend. If he puts in a performance like that against Spurs, starts taking the game to them, Bowen's forever hard working. If we get him working down the flanks, again, that Castellanos, he looks full of work, full of running. So I think they can bring us something going forwards. Pablo seems to have come in for a lot of stick. I'd like to know what people in the chat think about him because I think it's a little bit hasty. I can't say I'm overly impressed with him so far, but he's barely had any minutes. He's just arrived at the football club, and I think we should give him a chance before we write him off. And I feel like a few have written him off already. Are you back with us, Mick?
Is this Castellanos we're talking about?
No, not Castellanos, the other one, Pablo.
Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, mate. Yeah.
Hello, Jeff.
Yeah, I can hear you, buddy. I think your internet's playing up, Mick.
Hello, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Castellanos in his first game, I thought. You still there? You still there, Jeff?
Yes, mate. Yeah.
Hello. All right. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Fucking internet, man. Yeah. That Castellanos in his first game, I thought he was a fish out of water. If I've been honest, seen the whole of that game. Yeah, the bits I've seen, it was a great header for the winner. And the bits the sort of extended highlights I've seen at QPR, yeah, I thought he did okay. So, you know, as you say, it's a question of giving someone time, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, definitely. Make West Ham great again says, is Thomas Frank another Potter? The system at Brentford is what is special, not the first team coach, manager. I mean, I don't know. I do think Thomas Frank is a good coach. And I do think, much like ourselves actually, that Tottenham are a bit of a basket case of a club. And we've seen probably better managers than Thomas Frank go there and struggle to get a tune out of Tottenham, not just this team. So in that respect, I think they're as bad as we are. It's tough for managers to go in and make an impact there. Colin's in. He says, good evening, Colin. He says, good evening, Jeff and Mick. You wonderful gentlemen. For definite, we need to get in an attacking midfielder who is a good passer. Nuno's football is boring. Talking about attacking midfielder, I suppose we should touch on the Paqueta thing. What's your thoughts on that, Mick, and the reports that you've seen about him?
Good evening, Colin. What, Paqueta?
Yeah, Paqueta, mate.
Paqueta we talk about, Jeff. Sorry, my signal.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just checking because my signal keeps going in and out. Well, you know my feelings on Paqueta from some time. He had one great match there a little while. I think it was Everton, actually. He played really well against. Mick taking us to his sextons. Yeah, well, I think it was Everton. He had a good match against, and that's it for the season. To be honest, yeah, If he goes, he goes, Jeff. For me, I'm not pushed one way or the other. Yeah, to be honest, if he goes, no, he wouldn't be missed.
Yeah, I think
What
the thing
assists
is we
has he
need
had
to.
this season? None.
Yeah. Well, we need to just make sure we get the right fee for him. But I'm not sure I buy in completely, and I've seen other channels. They've kind of really gone at Paqueta over this refusing to play thing, and I don't know if he refused to play or not. I mean, all that time ago, he didn't want to play down at Bournemouth, did he? When he was linked with the Man City move, but he turned out for us. I thought he came off injured against Forest. Um, and when he wasn't in the side, I thought Nuno was either just leaving him out because he felt like we should have enough without him, or that he was carrying an injury. And then since then, the stories have come out that he's refused to play. And it just seems the same old playbook from the board. I was touched on it with Nuno about him falling out with players and he's lost the dressing room. One more game before he's hoofed out the door. And here we are now with the stories about Paqueta. And there may be some truth in it. And if that is the case, they should dock his fucking wages if he refuses to play. Don't pay him. And I think they'll be in their rights to do so. And if he really desperately wants to leave the football club, then we should get as much as we can for him and move him on. But I'm not sure I believe all of the stories. Like I say, it's the same old, demonise someone before they leave or as they're about to leave. So Brendan says, so Jeff, the problem is that Nuno could not pick the team up or his tactics to beat two of the previous teams. So will he do it against the Spuds? Yeah, my concern too. I watched Tottenham, a bit of Tottenham anyway, against Villa in the last game. Although they lost, I think Villa are a really good side. And I was watching it and I was thinking, they likely have too much for us. Which is sad to say for a team that's won twice there all year. I think they've got a worse fucking home record than we have. Just saying something. Usual, all good, thank you. And it's like a tragicom. I don't know if he's talking about you, Mick, with your in and out internet. To be honest with you, buddy.
Huh?
Make West Ham great again. Says Pablo looks very off the pace. Needs time, but he looks like a fan that won a competition to be a footballer. Well, this is what I say. I think we're being a little bit harsh on the lad. Yeah, he's only young still. He's just into a new team. He's got a terrific record where he came from, which I'm sure we'd all agree is not a comparable league. But his strike rate there was very good. So I'd say give him a chance. And I'm not sure if we've played him where we should be playing him as yet. I don't know much about him, but from what I can tell, he's supposed to be like a number 9. So why are we not playing him like that? We seem to be playing him too deep. Colin says Fulkrug has broken a bone.
Well, again, is he going to play 4-4-2? I wonder has he got thoughts of a 4-4-2 at some point? I don't know. Buying 2 centre forwards, maybe. Can I just say hello to Tommy and Danny, Luke?
Yeah, of course. Hello, Tommy and Danny. If you're in the chat, go on, boys. How's Tommy getting on with his football? Let's put some cheer the place up. He must be doing well, is he?
Yeah, he's doing great.
Excellent. Tony's in from Hammers Football TV. Evening, mate. Thanks for popping in the chat. Good to see you, buddy.
And Danny's too.
Yeah, because Danny's
Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, so he's
now, doing. Who, Danny?
Yeah.
Danny's packed up the boxing. Yeah, he's playing football Sundays now instead.
Oh, excellent. So anyway, back to the tongue-in-cheek thing I was talking about, the managers. So I put it in the thumbnail, so I really should talk about it. The ABC of managers, and I put in Amarin, Ari, and Ange, because sometime or another, all of them have been linked or suggested. So Amarin, obviously, just out of Manchester United, came for his interview previously. Went back to Portugal and immediately apologised to the fans for even dreaming of leaving them to come to West Ham. He was that impressed with Sullivan. So um, clearly, he's not a viable option, in my opinion. And also, I don't think the way he plays, I think he showed that he was pretty stubborn, pretty set in his ways, the way he wanted to play at Manchester United. And I, as poor as people say Man United's squad is, I think they're better than us. So I'm not sure he would be a good fit. And I mean, can you imagine playing Ange Ball with Kilman, Tadibo, Mavropanos playing up on the halfway line there? I mean, personally, I think we'd get slaughtered every week. I know people want to see us to go all out attacking football, but in my opinion, that would be suicidal. And then we've got Harry, obviously, winding the clock back there. The guy's nearly 80 years old. Would he give a lift to the dressing room? Is he the kind of guy that manages to lift players and get a bit more out of them than perhaps their skill set suggests? I think he does do that, but he's been out of football for a long, long time. I just can't see that working. What are your thoughts on that, Harry, Mick? And please let us know what your thoughts are in the chat.
Yeah, right. I'm struggling to hear you, Jeff. To be honest, he keeps going in now. But you're talking about Harry now, right?
Yeah. Talk about Harry. Yeah.
Talking about Harry, Jeff. Yeah.
Yeah. Your internet's struggling,
Jeff.
mate. Yeah.
Harry. Yeah. I'm not really. I'm getting half of the thing, Jeff. Yeah. I mean, Martin O'Neill's obviously done it at 78 at Celtic, so you know, what he do to the end of the season? Yeah, he would. But as I said earlier, we got with Nuno, so I'm really interested in Harry coming into the season.
Yeah, I can see you're struggling with your internet, Mick. So perhaps I'll have to see if I can catch up with you next week or something. See if you can get your service sorted out, whatever the problems are. I'll waffle on a little bit further regarding Big Sam and Bilic since I'm doing the ABCs. I mean, obviously, Big Sam I've put in there as it's a little bit of a joke, really. But if we're talking about going backwards with our managers, and obviously Bilic is in the B's as well, then why not Big Sam? I don't want him at the football club. I don't think he'd take the job. But it's kind of where we're at as West Ham fans sometimes, looking at things like that. I just think it's a bit backwards, backward looking, backward thinking. As for Bilic, I really enjoyed the time that Bilic was at the football club. But I hated what they did to Bilic, and he looked an absolute broken man. So when there were suggestions previously about Bilic coming back, I was like, no, I don't want to see that happen to the man again. They nearly destroyed him last time. But I have heard since that he's sort of put himself forward for the job. So I just think I've kind of reconsidered that a little bit and thought to myself, well, do you know what? If he genuinely has put himself forward and would be willing to take the job should it come available, he's going into it with open eyes. He knows what to expect off of them. And if he's prepared to put himself through that again, I kind of wouldn't mind seeing him in the dugout, if I'm honest. The C's, I put in Carrick and Cooper. Carrick because he's basically been linked to the football club, although he's now about to be announced, if he hasn't been announced, at Manchester United, I believe, for the rest of the season. So obviously he wouldn't be an option any longer. And I put Cooper in because I think out of all the managers that have probably been mentioned in the ABC, he's the most likely that Sullivan would appoint. Anyway, it was just a bit of fun exercise, but let me know in the chat what you think about all of that, the ABC of managers. And Collins put in that he'd take Maresca as a manager for himself. I'm not sure he would come to West Ham, though. And obviously, you're talking to Tony at Hammers TV. Tog says, usual, I haven't thrown tunes at you for a while, so last three, the scratch, pull your jocks up. The beats, don't pull me over. Deep Valley Baby, I call help. Deep Valley's version. Okay, cool. I'm not familiar with any of those, but I'm sure usual will go and look them up and have a listen. Brennan says, Bilic would come back on a tasty contract, get sacked and take home huge compensation. I'm not cynical much. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if he'd be the right man for the relegation scrap they're in, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure there's a magic pill out there that we can take and save us either. Word says any manager coming in has to drink a poison chalice. Such a tough ask. Yeah, I agree with that totally. And usual says he's going to give you tunes a listen, your recommendations. So Word says, be nice if our owners had learned ABCs of running a club. Yeah, that's very true. It really would be nice if they'd learn their ABCs of running a club. I mean, again, I just think it's absolutely shocking the way they conduct themselves. What's everyone's thoughts in the chat around this Paqueta rumours? Obviously, earlier in the chat, someone was saying Paqueta out. Nick and I have touched on it. I mean, neither of us would be too concerned if he left. I don't think he does enough. If you've been watching my videos recently, when he scored a goal and assist, didn't he? He scored a penalty and got an assist in the same game. And I said, I don't think we can. I think I'd been slagging him off a little bit the previous week. And then he came back and showed me up a little bit with that. But my reaction to that was that I don't think we can wait another 50 games for the goal and assist to come. And that's kind of where we're at with Paqueta. I just don't think for a good quality footballer, which he undoubtedly is, I don't think he does enough for us. I don't think he's productive enough for us. And I look at Fernandez coming in there. I wouldn't mind seeing Fernandez play in the Paqueta role. We've got Castellanos, who looks to me like he could play in a slightly deeper role, play in the 10. So I think we have some options there. I think we desperately need to sort our centre halves out. Usual says Newcastle and City's getting a bit tasty. Yeah, I'm kind of half watching that out of the corner of my eye. There's a few tackles going in. Just scrolling through the chat here. Brendan says, they have to replace Pack if he goes. Don't think anyone is available to step in and up, though. Okay, so there's your thoughts on that. And I'm not sure who we get to replace Paqueta as an attacking midfielder. don't know who they would likely have their eyes on. Like I say, for me personally, um, I think Fernandez can thread a few balls through. He's shown good passing range. He can be gritty and tackle. I think it's just what we need. Mick's just popped back into the studio, so let's see if his internet's any better now. All right, Mick, is your internet better now,
How's
buddy?
that?
Yeah, much better. Yeah, you sound better.
Because it turned itself.
Oh no,
Here,
not
just
better.
she said, "Dad, are you sure you're not on next door's?" Because I live next door. I didn't realise.
He's still in and out a little bit.
Loud and clear now.
To
Yeah.
start with. Colin says, Jeff, another one, mate. Xavi, great player. Love the way he likes his teams play football. What do you think? Personally, I don't think that Xavi's going to come to West Ham United. And we've got another stranger just popped into the studio. Let me bring him into the stage. Very good to see this man join us back in the lounge. And it's Budgie has joined us. Hello, Budge. Thanks for joining us, buddy. How you keeping, mate?
Good evening, Mick. Good evening, Jeff. How are you, gents?
Yes, very good, thank you. Good to see you.
Yeah. I thought I'd pop
in. Might
in.
add some sense to this conversation.
I've not long got in from work, so I thought I'd pop in and say hello.
Oh, brilliant.
Good man.
Well, we've kind of just skipped over the QPR game and been grateful that we've made it into the hat and feel like we've got a decent draw against Burton. I'm sure you can give us your views on that. Then we were just sort of touching on Nuno's future and the Paqueta story that's broken over the last day or two regarding him refusing to play. So, do you want to give us your thoughts on all of that?
Right. Okay. Well, briefly on the QPR game, I felt that we should never have been under the same pressure that we were under when we were playing, you know, even, you know, Brentford, not Brentford, Bournemouth not too long ago. I mean, we were under quite a lot of pressure. But we were under that same kind of pressure playing QPR, and it just really wasn't. I didn't think that we should have been under that much pressure. I thought we should have controlled that game a lot better than we did. We were lucky to get the win. QPR were very unlucky not to get a draw or better. And let's just hope things improve in the next round.
Yeah, let's hope so. I mean, a win's a win's a win. We desperately needed to win a game of football, and we sort of stumbled over the line. Word said earlier in the chat that we made a victory feel a bit like a defeat, but we've got over the line and we're in the hat, and that's sort of that sums it up, really. I was pretty disappointed.
You know, the thing is, we are kind of staring, you know, defeat in the jaws. You know, it's really, you know, every single week we're kind of looking at, like, mentally we're preparing ourselves for a loss every week. Most of us are anyway, you know. So yeah, a win is a win is a win, and I agree. Yeah, it does make you feel a bit better about things, but you know, let's hope it's not papering over the cracks, as we usually say.
Yeah, sure.
The Nuno situation, I think we've got him until the end of the season, if I'm completely honest.
Yeah, Mick was saying that he thinks he's going to be here, and he doesn't believe that the investment that they look like they're planning to make this month points towards a manager that's on his way out of the door.
No, and even though we said that kind of about Harry Potter, we were kind of proven wrong with him, weren't we? That, you know, they weren't going to throw money at his. But then again, how many players did he bring in? 2, wasn't it? Grandpa.
He brought in Juff, didn't he?
Yeah.
And Sullivan brought in Wilson, didn't he?
Yeah. Didn't he bring in Magassa?
Yeah, he might have brought in Magassa as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And your thoughts on Paqueta's situation? That's sort of where we're at in the chat just now.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Well, to me, I think if he's down in tools refusing to play, I think he's already decided on his future, and it's not with us. And therefore, we should forget about him and move on without him. That's my opinion. Move on without him, sell him, get a decent player in return.
Words is saying that I think Pac's personal problems got in the way of his performance. We never got the best. I can't read that bit at the bottom. Best out of him.
Yeah. No, that's there's a lot of merit in that words, but to be fair, a professional gets on with their job regardless of their private situation, surely, you know. Mick's decided to do a runner.
Yeah, he's having problems with his internet this evening. He's been very in and out with his Mick and his internet. So I think he's probably decided to retire for the evening.
Over that all, he's dropped out and he can't get back in.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, I mean, regards his personal problems, I mean, the thing is with Paqueta, I think if we're truly honest with ourselves, he was never truly consistent, was he? I mean, when he first came, we kind of got half a season out of him, and then he went a bit cold. Then we saw flashes of what Paqueta could be, and then he kind of went missing. And then obviously we made lots of excuses for him with the betting scandal, and I don't doubt that affected him. He got sent off really just stupidly, really so petulant that day. And I do think perhaps he came out afterwards and was saying about his mental health and one thing or another. And I don't doubt that all of that's gone on has affected him. But I think he's been kind of angling to leave West Ham for some time and not been able to get out of the club.
The Man City thing fell through.
Yeah. Since then, I think, he's been sort of on the edge of leaving almost every window. So I don't think we should be surprised we are where we are now. And if the Brazilian club are willing to front up enough money for him, and that's where he wants to go, get out of England. And I can sort of understand if that's what he wants to do, get away from the English FA and go and play back in Brazil. I'm kind of all right with it. As long as we get our money out of it, he can go.
But, you know, what we don't want is a Frank Lampard scenario. When he left Chelsea and went to the New York, whatever it was, and then ended up lining up against Chelsea for Man City and scoring on loan.
All the chat just saying good evening to you, Budge.
Good evening, chat. Good evening, everybody. Usual, how are you? Colin, nice to see you in the chat there, mate.
Usual says to get him, get Mick on the roof, out of the cellar, out of his sex dungeon, which you probably won't know what that's about, Budge, but that was in the chat earlier on when he tried moving around the house.
Right.
Yeah, so the Paqueta situation. Now, we were speculating. I was saying that I thought perhaps Fernandes might be able to kind of move into a Paqueta type role, or even Castellanos. Words was saying that he doesn't feel that we have anyone that can sort of step into that role. What's your thoughts on that, Budge?
I think there are 2 players that I would have a look at least in that role. And like, what role are we talking about? The 10 role here?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's sort of where he's been playing mostly recently,
Yeah,
hasn't it?
yeah.
Somerville's out on the
Okay.
left, and I
So
quite
yeah,
like him there.
I think Fernandez is definitely one that you could look at for that position. I think he's talented enough, and I think he's clever enough for it. He's well skilled, so yeah, why not? And I think young Kante is another option. All right, maybe not first choice, but it is an option to bring into the, because I like Kante. I think he's absolutely phenomenal.
Who did he come on against a few weeks ago? Played him down the right-hand side, and he was absolutely in fucking beast mode, wasn't he?
It was great. He had something to prove. He had something to show us all, and he did exactly that. He was, who was it we were playing? Because whoever it was, their left back was struggling, and he don't normally struggle a great deal. Now, who was that?
I can't remember who. I can't remember who he came on against.
It was on against Forest, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't as recent as that, was it? Don't think it was the Forest game. I think it was the game before. Was it Brighton? Maybe.
Yeah, could be.
Colin says,
drinking me coffee and drinking. Yeah.
Colin says, gentlemen, so we are going to get players Nuno wants, but I can probably see him gone in the summer. Then we'll be back to square one again because we won't want the players. That is why we waste money. And I think there is something in that. But what we can also say is that there's plenty of players here that have been signed by other managers that a manager would want, isn't there?
Yeah, oh gosh, yeah. Yeah, like Fernandez.
Other managers could be able to work with. So I don't think it's always about, I didn't sign him. And this is a bit of a thing in football. I know everyone's got their style. Everyone's got their players and who they want to play, who they get on with, work with before, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Moyes brought Bowen to the football club.
Yeah.
What manager would not want Bowen in their squad, in their team? Yeah. It's a hard-working, effective footballer.
Yeah, and another example on that point, Jeff, is that Pellegrini won the Premier League without buying a single player.
Well, Arne Slot won the Premier League. He bought one player, didn't he? But he's not looking so clever now. He's rebuilding that squad.
I know. Yeah. But, so really and truly, it's not about you can't work with players that you ain't brought in. Because, there are managers out there proving that theory wrong. Aces, and the thing that frustrates me a little bit, Jeff, is when people talk about how poorly we're doing at the moment, and they're putting the onus on Nuno a lot, and I think that the players should have their fair share of criticisms too, and not many of them are getting the criticisms they deserve, if I'm honest.
I agree. I sort of said that a little bit under Moyes at the end of his tenure, when Moyes was very, very unpopular, and I do think Moyes was going stale. By the way, I'm not offering sort of huge defence of David Moyes, but I do think that as much as Moyes kind of knew he was leaving, and maybe sort of shrugged his shoulders and thought, not that bothered him, and he almost did a Nuno without just sitting in the dugout sulking with his arms folded like he did at Wolves. But I think the players sort of gave up a bit as well. And we talk about Emerson. I know you were a big fan of Emerson.
Yeah.
But I think he's actually one of those players that, I think there's been talk of, we should have kept him for this year. We miss him now. I don't think he wanted to be here, and I don't think he wanted to be here from almost the end of Moyes' tenure. And I think it showed under Lopetegui and under Potter as well.
Yeah, Lopetegui hardly played him at all. Potter, I think, played him twice. What's he going to do? He don't want to sit on the sidelines. They were playing.
I'm not sure he wanted to be here. I'm not sure he wanted to be here. I think he'd
No,
been wanting out for a while.
maybe,
And when it gets
maybe.
like that, they're no good to the football club anymore, are they?
Yeah, but then they're paid enough money to be bloody professional, Jeff.
I agree. I'm not making excuses for them.
No, and you can't down tools. You just can't do that. I understand that maybe I've been doing courses on the computer all afternoon, so I might use words that aren't actually football terms, but they're relatable. I mean, I don't understand the downing tools. I get that the productivity might fall a bit, but what you've got to try and do is you've got to try and remain bloody professional. And if you're being paid the best part £250,000 a week, or a half of that a week, then you bloody well have a obligation to perform to the best of your ability. Because
And I think the
otherwise,
thing is, you can have dips in form, can't you? And that's not
yeah,
the same as down in tools. I think it would be
yeah,
fair to say that perhaps Bowen is suffering from a bit of a dip in form at the moment. I don't think anyone could accuse him of down in tools, not caring,
not one,
not trying. He's just not being as productive as he has been previously. Some of that might be down to the system, but it's not. It's not for
it's
the
not
want
for
of
the want of
trying.
trying.
No, I think so.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Salman says, good evening. It's been a while. Big up, guys. Hope you're all well. We're good. Thanks for dropping in. Good to see you. And he goes on to say, Canty came on against Villa and United, he believes.
Yeah.
And he says, I have the feeling Slav will be back soon.
Mm-hmm.
The board will look at him for his record at West Brom, bringing them up to the Prem, and also because he has managed us in the past. Fans will love it. And I do think there's something in that fans would love it.
Some fans.
Yeah, I mean, I
know these two fans personally that would like that. I'm not one of them. I would enjoy it. I think Slav is a great manager. I thought he was really productive for the club, and great character to boot.
Yeah, no,
Loved
I
it when
like
he
the
jumped
side.
up on the table, on that rostrum thing when we were in that final. Did you see that?
The only thing I'd say about Slav, or not about Slav, but in regards to that comment, and the board would bring him back because he's managed us in the past. The thing is, I'm not sure how popular he was with Sullivan, because he didn't seem to support him, and he seemed to pull the trigger pretty quickly on him. I thought perhaps a little bit prematurely, actually.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. Mind you, though, when it comes to managers that have managed us, and I think Zola, as you probably well know, Zola is probably number one on my list for that, because I think he was starting to get things going. I thought we were starting to play some really good football under him, and the players loved working under him. He was leading by example. Do you know what I mean? And
I think they still said that he could have played in that team, didn't they? They said he could do stuff on the training pitch. Some of them couldn't even dream of.
Yeah. Mark Noble apparently used to ask him if he could stay behind for half an hour or whatever it was to help him with his penalties and stuff.
Someone's saying, carrying on his comment about Bilic, he says, I feel like it will be a move from the board once we get relegated to get on the good side of the fans. Do you think they can possibly get on the good side of the fans now, or do you think it's too late for all of that with the protests? I mean, they're widely disliked by a large number of the fans, and I don't know if we could say all of the fans. I'm in the stadium. every week, and I know the red card protest is going on. I'm not sure it's as effective or as visual as everyone would like it to be. And with that in mind, that every time the cards go up on 15 minutes, there's a quick rendition of sack the board, but it doesn't seem to carry or go on for too long. So I don't know actually how much impact that is having on the board. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Maybe a larger red card might be more visual, you know?
Yeah, maybe.
Like,
yeah.
500 large red cards is probably going to be more visible than 1,000 smaller ones.
Yeah.
You know?
Possibly. But what it is with those red cards, they're like pocket sized, didn't they?
Yeah.
You could slip it inside your coat pocket or whatever. Whereas a big card, I mean, you'd have to unfold it and God knows what.
Nothing like that. That'd be all right. You know? We did it during the European bloody campaign, holding up pieces of paper with a blurred, image on it, and then when you put it all up, it becomes part of the stadium or whatever. You know, we all did that.
Yeah.
Why not? One massive red card right round the whole bloody stand. Well, you can't do that anymore because you don't actually know anybody else in the stands you're in anymore, do you?
Tog says Cummins has just got one back for the under 21s. I'm not. Don't know the score of that. Please let us know. Do you know the score of that? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And he goes on to ask, do we know the extent of Mav's injury? And I must say, I haven't heard anything. Last I heard, he was going for a scan. So I don't know the outcome of that. And we're in quite a sorry state, really, aren't we? Because he's always got an error in him, and yet he is probably most effective central defender, and we're going to miss him if he's not available at Spurs. Tadibo, much improved under Nuno. I think it's fair to say he looks really good on the floor at times. But I mean, he's dreadful in the air, isn't he?
I think really and truly, when it comes to aerial duels, he relies on his bulk rather than his ability. And so I'm sorry to say that the days of bulk in challenges has gone, because now other players are far more clever than they used to be. They're aware of what a big, bulky man can and can't do, and they wiggle around them, So in the air, I think you're right. Tadibo is a worry, but on the floor with the ball at his feet, I really don't have too much of a worry. Like you said, much improved. I liked him the day he arrived. I just liked the way he looked and the way he came across.
He seems to be fitter, doesn't he? He seemed to struggle for the entirety of that first season he was here with his fitness. But he does look fitter now. He's still guilty of a few misplaced passes, but the whole team is guilty of that at the moment. So don't think we can dig him out too much about it. It's going to happen, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's nice to see also, though, that that there is actually us talking about competition in defence. All right, okay, we are not talking about the top world-class defenders here, but they are the best that we've got. So, but the fact that Mavropanos isn't going to be available and that we're talking about all of that, it's good to see that, we're actually talking about it in a positive way rather than, constant barraging of the defence, Jeff, because I've heard a lot of that in recent weeks, and
about that and prospective people, rumours of transfer rumours. We don't do a lot of that on this channel. We kind of just wait and see what happens. But obviously we've got the links with Dyer and the links
Yeah.
with Pinnock. What's your thoughts on if either or both of those players were to join us? Personally, I'm not over keen on Dyer, but I think he would be better than what we've got. Pinnock for me is not a particularly glamorous signing, but again, I think he absolutely improves our defence, certainly aerially. What are your thoughts on it, Budge?
We are talking about Eric Dyer here, aren't we?
Eric
Yeah?
Dyer and Ethan Pinnock, yeah.
I think I'm with you on the Pinnock thing, that he would definitely give us something more in defence with a little bit of dynamicism.
I think he's reliable, isn't he? That's the thing.
Yeah. But he's also got a little bit of pace about him as well, so he can break out with the ball, which is, or he has been able to. I mean, what is he now? About 26 now, isn't he?
No, I think he's older than that. I think he's around 30.
Is he?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, well, maybe that pacey bit of him's gone now then. But,
yeah, I'm not sure that he's as quick as he used to be.
Completely reliable in defence. Eric Dyer, well, we've been linked with him probably more times than we've been, to the stadium. But I would say that reliable player, when he's fit, he's a reliable player. He's had some injury issues in the past. Lower back, wasn't it? I think with him.
I think the thing is with players like Dyer and perhaps even Pinnock to a degree, they're not huge names and not that glamorous signing, but not long ago, lots of our fans and lots of fan channels, they were turning their nose up at the thought of Maguire and McTominay coming to the football club, and it wasn't what we needed, and they weren't good enough for West Ham and all the rest of it. If we look at the state of where we're in now, I think a Maguire and a McTominay might be just the sort of players we actually need, right?
Yeah, we might very well be in a more favourable position.
Yeah, speculation, I know, and I'd be interested to see what people in the chat think about that.
I think the main thing that bothers people with those kinds of signings, like the Eric Dyers, McTominays, Pinnock and Maguire, is that they're not very what's the word I'm looking for? Not adventurous, but
sort of steady Eddie sort of characters, I guess.
Yeah, you're not kind of trying to reach for something special. You're just literally going for what you kind of know. You know what I mean? It's like buying ketchup instead of a hot sauce. It is though, isn't it? It is.
Yeah, I like that.
It's kind of like that, I mean, and the thing is that this club, we've always kind of gone adventurous with players. I mean, whoever would have thought that Paolo Di Canio would have come to this club and been what he was for us? Dimitri Payet, Carlos Tevez.
You've got to look, though, when you talk about a Di Canio coming here, why did he come here? He came here because he was like outcast because of his behaviour of pushing the referee over and one thing or another. Otherwise, we'd probably have no chance because no one wanted to touch him and we took a chance on him. And I think it's a little bit true.
He laughed his head off when he saw him doing it.
And it's probably a bit true with Payet as well. He was a bit damaged goods, wasn't he? That's how we ended up getting him. So I think we've got a bit of a relationship with players like that, haven't we? We seem to pick a few of them up. Arnautovic, another one. Yeah, absolutely.
But actually, my girlfriend, my partner, sorry, I'm not allowed to call her my girlfriend because she's not. But anyway, Kimmy, she really liked Arnautovic when he was at West Ham. She was quite disappointed when he left. And as a result of her kind of like telling me what she liked about his style of playing. That I kind of watched a few of the highlights reels and stuff, and I've watched his movement on and off the ball. And do you know what? We've not had a player like him since Trevor Brooking. I think he was the only one.
I hated the way he left the football club and the way he
Yeah.
forced his way out, but I actually loved him when he was here.
Yeah. But the way he could move around on and off the ball.
Oh.
For me, it was like, he was the only one that's done it that way, the way he did it since Trevor Brooking, I really liked Arnie, but, as you say, he left under a cloud.
Colin says, I don't see Bowen staying at the club, but that's his opinion. I'd like him to stay, but I would not blame him if he wants to go. I was in, I think it was Stell's chat last night, actually, and this sort of came up in the chat about Bowen. Would he, wouldn't he go? Or will he, won't he go? Now, my question is, where does he go? I mean, I think of all the current crop of players, youngsters aside, he's the one with the most affinity, perhaps apart from Souček, to the football club, who genuinely loves the football club. Apart from he's married into the Dyer family and all the rest of it, but I actually do think he loves West Ham, and he signed a long contract, and I think he would probably like to see it out. And he's 29 years old, and he's getting on 29 years old. If we go down at the end of the season, I think he might give us a year in the Championship to get back up. I think he might show that loyalty. But let's just say he wants to go, or the club want to sell him and realise whatever money they can for him.
Yeah.
Where does he actually go? Because I don't see him going to an Arsenal, Liverpool, a Man City, etc., etc. And I just think the list of clubs that he can go to, or that would be wanting to sign him, is perhaps not as long as it might have been 18 months or 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got to factor in, where would he be prepared to go? Because just because a football club comes in for you, he might not want to go there. So,
so that would probably
I'm not sure the list is that long.
Yeah, no, that would probably rule out the likes of PSG, Juve, perhaps Real Madrid, them kinds of clubs coming in for him.
They're not coming in for him anyway, are they? Can't see Real Madrid signing Jared Bowen, can you?
Maybe Borussia Dortmund or something like that. But but I'm just saying, like any foreign club comes in for him, he's probably not likely to accept, is he? He's going to want to stay in London.
Semeny's just scored, and he played in the competition already. That's a bit naughty, isn't it?
Oh. He's more likely to want to stay in London if he did leave West Ham. So that limits his options. And like you said, Arsenal is probably not one of his destinations. A, because it's Arsenal, and B, because Saka is there.
It's not just Saka, is it? They've got Saka and Madueke, haven't they?
Oh, yeah, that's right. They've got Madueke now as well, yeah. So he's going to be third in line for that. So he won't go there. Chelsea have just got rid of Madueke, haven't they? Chelsea is a possibility, but they've got quite a few good young players out there on the right as well. Crystal Palace. Would he go to Crystal Palace? Probably not.
Are they going to pay? I mean, I don't know what the price tag would be, but
probably about 45 million now in this club.
Okay, so are they going to pay that for 29, 30-year-olds? I'm not sure that they are. I mean, Glasner's moaning about them not invested in the squad. He's not going to go to Tottenham, is he?
No, it's definitely out. That's definitely out. I don't think he would ever play a game for them, not even like in a charity game. I don't think he would wear one of their shirts. I really don't.
Word said he should get some leadership lessons off his father-in-law. And Brendan's saying that we lost 2-1, the under-21. So, yeah, shame.
Yeah. Yeah.
Colin's on your page. He said he liked Zola and he felt he was a bit hard done by.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And Toxie's talking about some NFL stuff, which I'm not really in touch with. But he said Tomlinson stepped down as Steelers coach after 19 seasons, and he hopes that he gets another gig.
Yeah.
He goes on to say Zola needed Clark, though, and they were finding their feet. Yeah, there might be something in that.
That's absolutely right. I mean, Zola and Clark worked brilliantly together. Brilliantly.
Make West Ham great again says Todibo has proved him wrong, and he's a good player.
Yeah.
It wasn't Tomlinson, it was Tomlin. So we were that in touch with it. We had no idea anyway.
Yeah.
Here's a question from Togs. He says, would Alvarez's combative approach be what we need right now? I know he cannot come back, probably does not want to be back. I would say yes, personally.
I would say we're lacking a bit of that. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I would say so. I know he was a little bit slow at times. He picked up a few cards and all the rest of it, partly because he was a little bit slow, right?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, he's gritty and he wasn't worried about getting stuck in, and he got a few yellow cards for sticking it on people. But a lot of the yellow cards I think he picked up just because he was a little bit too slow. But I do think we're missing a bit of that, and we could actually do with it. And I don't think he can come back. It's a season-long commitment. And I don't know if he would want to come back or not. I mean, it was Potter that loaned him out, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe it was.
And we've, got a different manager now. So I don't know whether his relationship with West Ham is completely burnt or not. But he's another one now, I think, who was probably angling for a move out of the foot. He came to get a move, I think.
Yeah, you're probably right. Listen, Jeff, I'm going to have to go in a sec, mate, because my food is ready. And
no problem. Listen, Budgie, thanks ever so much for dropping in. It's lovely to see you back in the lounge, and hopefully you'll be able to join us in the coming weeks, mate.
Yeah, definitely. And Mick, if you're watching, it was lovely to see you, mate. Jeff, I will chat with you in the very near future, and we'll be coming.
No problem, buddy.
And everybody in the chat, thank you. Don't forget to hit the likes. Don't be a thumbless bugger. And if you haven't already subscribed to the Boleyn Lounge, do it. And I will see you all tomorrow night, probably on the Old School Hammers.
Yeah, enjoy the show. See you later, bud. Thanks, mate.
Cheers, bud. Take care. Bye.
Mate, West Ham Great says anyone is better than Kilman, so Dyer and his leadership would be an improvement. Yeah, and I think that's it's just a fair comment. Colin says he calls him Eric Diarrhea. Yeah, I'm not the huge fan of Eric Dyer. Word says he's 32 on Thursday, so he's no spring chicken, but we've got youngsters in and around our squad, so a bit of experience isn't the end of the world for us. I'm not the biggest fan of Eric Dyer, I'll be perfectly honest, but I think he's better than what we've got, especially aerially. So we're a bit beggars can't be choosers for me. Doug says, I would have liked McTominay. Maguire would have done a job for sure. Yeah, I'm on that page. Lots of people were against that at the time. I was never quite as anti as some. I think McTominay's a much better player than people give him credit for, and I think he's shown that on numerous occasions. And at one point, he was a super sub for Man United, who came on and scored the goals that got them out of trouble and got them a few results. So I think he showed his class at the top end of the pitch. and we could do with a goal scoring midfielder now. That's for sure. And Maguire, he's got his flaws. You know, if he gets turned, he's in trouble. He's a little bit slow, but I tell you what, gets on his head on things. We wouldn't be so weak from corners if we had a Harry Maguire in our squad. And Brendan says Moyes will come in for him. The thing is with Maguire, he made it quite clear he didn't want to come. Or you're talking about Eric Dyer, possible on either front. But Maguire made it clear that he didn't want to come to West Ham, so I don't think he would come now. And would Man United be interested in Dyer? Are you talking about, Colin? Oh, talking about Bowen with Man United. And Brendan says Moyes for Bowen. Yeah. Would he go to Everton? I don't know. It's a long way from London, isn't it? So, I don't know. But Moyes would definitely love Bowen. You're right there. He absolutely would. And I suppose Moyes was the manager that kind of brought him into the Premier League and gave him his break. He played well under Moyes, as did probably saw the best of Paqueta under David Moyes as well, if the truth be known. So, yeah, maybe he would. Maybe he would. Anyway, guys, I've been on for an hour and 20 minutes almost, so I'd like to thank all of you for joining me this evening. And please do join me later in the week if I can do a walk and talk with Coco for the pre-Tottenham game. I will do that. And Word says, great show. See you on your next walk and talk with Coco. Well, I'm hoping to do one this week leading into the Tottenham game. I'll give my thoughts on perhaps what the team might be, not what the team might be, but what I might like to see. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Thanks for all of you for joining me. I'll see you all soon. If you're not subscribed to the channel, as Budgie said, please do. We'd like to grow the channel this year a little bit. It'd be nice to get a few new subscribers. And if you haven't hit the like button, please do. And for anyone who's not watching it, City have just gone 2-0 up. It's not Semenya again, is it? Looks like it is. Oh, unbelievable. Oh, the canal boat's absolutely brilliant. Thank you, Colin. Yeah, we had a lovely time away, and yeah, we'll be going back as soon as we can. So, you guys all saying good night to each other. I'll say good night to you as well. Until the next time, come on, you Irons.
1-0 to the Cockney boys. 1-0 to the Cockney boys. 1-0 to the Cockney boys. 1-0.